live from Entropy Studios. This is Byron Snell Production with host Bob Kistler, special guest Steve Trainer, live with a PTCC broadcast.
Welcome back. We sure hope you enjoyed our first podcast, sponsored by the Pennsylvania Taxpayers Cyber Coalition. Our first podcast dealt with, does SB76, the Property Tax Elimination Act, provide adequate funding for schools? And I think we clearly answered an emphatic yes. In tonight's second podcast, we're going to discuss the false allegations that property taxes are not eliminated. I'm Bob Kistler.
And I'm Steve Trainer. Welcome, and we hope you'll enjoy the podcast.
Steve, in the first podcast, we shared that there are many organizations working against this bill. Organizations such as the Keystone Research Center, the Pennsylvania State Education Association, the Pennsylvania School Board Association organization, and others. If you missed the first podcast, we're going to provide a link right here that you can go watch it.
Yes, there certainly is, Bob, those organizations. And first, let's remind our viewers what our podcast mission is: to present hard facts while dispelling the myths. Tonight, we will discuss the claim that Senate Bill 76 does not end property taxes. This falsehood is centered on the existing debt that nearly every school district carries.
Yes, Steve. I believe out of the 500 school districts in Pennsylvania, there are only 5 school districts that carry no debt at all. But let's focus on the deceitful claim that 76 does not eliminate property taxes. The viewers can follow along while I read a letter that was addressed to parents from a local school district in Lehigh County. They posed the question, does it eliminate school property taxes? Property tax elimination maintains school property taxes to pay off school district debt. Taxpayers in over 40% of school districts will maintain at least 20% of their current school property tax bill, in addition to paying more in statewide personal income tax and sales tax. Taxpayers in 24 school districts will maintain at least 50% of their current property tax bill, and taxpayers in some districts will continue to pay 100% of their current school property tax bill, even after the elimination bill passes.
The inaccurate statement by this school district raises many concerns that will be discussed. First, we will discuss the primary focus of this podcast. Does the bill, Senate Bill 76, end school property taxes? Based on the statement from the school district, it would appear no. Fake news, maybe. What the school district failed to share is that once each school district debt is paid off, the school district taxes would end of your school property tax bill until the debt is paid off. Then it would go to zero, permanently. This can clearly be seen in the following tables created by the Pennsylvania Independent Fiscal Office as part of their analysis of Senate Bill 76.
You can see on the charts being presented on your screen at the moment that these tables came from the Pennsylvania Independent Fiscal Office analysis of Senate Bill 76. Understand that school funding is roughly a third of our state budget. So when the IFO does this analysis, they got to take their job seriously. Literally, the entire state budget is hinging on the outcome of their analysis. But if you look, there's a debt history and a debt projection moving forward. It roughly stays near 18%. What that means is that on average, statewide, you're going to see an 83% reduction in your property tax bill. As Steve and I have talked often, we don't know anybody that wouldn't be thrilled with an 83% reduction. What's more is there's a payoff date for this debt, and when that payoff date is achieved, property taxes will go away forever.
Bob, as far as that, as the 83% reduction of people being thrilled about it, that might be the biggest understatement I've heard in quite some time. I know for myself, I would be absolutely ecstatic about it, especially knowing that the tax will all go away eventually. Now let's turn our attention to the claim that 24 school districts would have debt of at least 50% and a handful 100%. The claim is being researched by the PTCC leadership team as well as legislators who support Senate Bill 76. When Senate Bill 76 was first introduced back in 2013, no school district reported debt remotely this high. There is speculation debt was recategorized either accidentally or perhaps more insidiously with an intent to increase the debt deliberately to downplay the credibility of Senate Bill 76.
When I read about these claims, I took the initiative to write to the Pennsylvania IFO office. Deputy Director Mark Ryan responded to my request, and he verified that calculations I ran based on data that he had given me were correct. So once again, the viewers can follow as I read his response to me. Dear Mr. Kistler, it looks like your computation of the ratio of debt service to property tax is correct. I examined the 2014-2015 debt service transfer to sinking funds data for Valley Grove School District, and it looks very unusual. I'm not sure if the entry contains an error or if it was a result of some unusual occurrence. The 2014-2015 transfer was $6,800,000, but in transfers in previous years, they were much lower, just a little bit over $1 million, respectively. It is possible the data included some one-time transfers that would not be used to determine how much property tax would be retained. Additional guidance from the department would likely be required if the proposal were to be implemented. From the information available to me, it isn't clear how this specific situation would be handled under the proposal.
So there you have it, folks. While we apologize for not being able to give you a clear bottom line for those 24 school districts, what we can safely state that the claim that Senate Bill 76 would not end property taxes is unequivocally 100% false. So there you have it, folks. We apologize.
Yeah, well, that wraps up our podcast for tonight. We hope our viewers found this enlightening once again. Remember, our motto is, we report the facts, nothing but the facts. Last time I coined Jack Webb's famous saying, nothing but the facts, ma'am, and we're sticking with that. I'm Bob Kistler.
And I'm Steve Trainer. Remember, no tax should have the power to leave your family homeless.